Okay, we have Keyshawn Hall and Baraka Okojie. Coach, you want to make a statement on the win?
Yes, this was I think first of all I gotta shout out the atmosphere tonight. I thought that this place was electric. I heard about the tailgates and stuff before the game, and I actually drove through it, and for a second I thought we were a football school. But the place was electric. This place was I think the best it's been all year, and that gave us life. And so just we needed this win, I think, like every win in conference. I think the one thing that I got to be careful of, I can't be too greedy. I was a little pissed off that we gave up so many points in the first half. But at the end of the day, we also put some points on the board, and I just think this was an amazing game. I mean, when you can score 92 points, in a 70-plus possession game, and have 10 assists and only 2 turnovers, you can't ask for better than that. And so I'm happy with the win.
Questions for the student athletes?
Baraka, you influence every game on both ends of the floor, which is rare for a freshman. Just what has been the process, and how has Coach helped you with being able to impact games on both ends of the floor and beyond the numbers?
He got on me earlier in the season to be a better defender for sure. I think I'm one of the best defenders on this team, and I can impact on and off the ball. So in terms of that side of the ball, just getting in pressure, getting in the passing lanes, all that type of stuff, I feel like if I do that, we're a better team because we can get out in transition. And then on offense, just being a point guard, learning when to score, when to pass, when to make the right pass, when to slow down, because everybody say I'm fast, when to speed up. So, I'm still learning, but I think I've been doing a pretty good job.
Hey, Keyshawn, this game almost turned into a shootout. I know you spoke both ends of the floor and all, but how fun is it to be in a game where offense kind of takes the forefront?
Man, it's great, man, because, I love offense. I'm going to say that now. I love offense, so it was great. I liked it. I liked the flow. In the first half, I had foul trouble, so I didn't get going early, but once my teammates just kept going, they gave me energy coming in the second half, just saying keep your head up, and then it was just a great, everybody was scoring. So once they scored, we had to score. We just had to lock in a little better on defense, though.
For both of you, it was your first time coming here, and it seemed like you really fed off that energy, especially going down a little bit at the beginning of the first half. Can you just speak to how you channel that energy into playing?
It was great. I had never really played in front of an atmosphere like that, so using them as energy on defense, on offense, running out in transition, doing things like that, I feel like it was our sixth man on the court, our biggest helper. So yeah.
I love the energy. I wish we could have every game like that, especially with the students back. That was a great turnout. It gave us a lot of energy. Even the baseball team, I seen them over there on the side giving us a lot of energy too. So shout out to them too. It was a great atmosphere.
For either of you guys, David Green obviously 22 points in the first half. What did you see from him in the first half, and what did you guys do collectively as a team to shut him down? He only had 7 points in the second half, and I think he was only 1 for 3 in the second half from 3.
I mean, once you get going, it's like you don't see nobody. So in the first half, it's just like whoever was on him, he was making shots. So we just tried to press up a little and stop letting him just face up, just sit there and not have a hand up and just put up threes. He went 5 for 5 in the first half for 3. So we tried to just get a little more aggressive on threes and get up into him because he was just going in the second half. So we just tried to take away the 3 and make him put it on the ground and trap the post up.
Yeah, everything he said. I don't know if that.
Yeah, for either of you, once again, I know you guys want to obviously not give up 84 points, but you kind of mentioned a little bit how fun it is to play in kind of these shootout kind of games. But when you got 4 guys scoring over 17 points and guys shot 60% in the second half, just what's the feel like out there? You guys are lobbing oops and stuff like that too. I mean, what was kind of the feeling like, and how did the crowd kind of get you back into it from that slow start to where you guys ended?
Just a whole bunch of energy. Darius hitting threes, Keyshawn doing what he does, Amari holding down the paint for us, and me pushing the tempo and everything like that. I feel like it's just it's real fun to be out there when that's happening. So that's what I would say. It's real fun, real energizing.
Yeah, I know coaches don't like it. I know he don't like it, but it felt like a rec game, man. How you just go to the rec, get up and down with your friends, man. Everybody just scoring. I mean, we got to play a little more better defense. That wasn't a good thing, but it just felt good to have a little offense going both ways. It was a fast-paced game. It was good for us.
No more questions for these.
Okay, we're good.
All right, yeah.
Thank you.
Coach, where was the struggles defensively? Where did you think they were?
Well, I think our transition defense was bad, and they did a really good job of, in their previous games, they didn't exactly push it up the floor. And so, you know, again, I worked with one of their assistants for 3 years, and so now I'm thinking, you know, the best way to kind of attack our zone is to be a little bit more aggressive than normal. And they smelled that early, and we just weren't sprinting back, you know, the way that we typically do, and they were aggressive, and, you know, we paid the price for it, I thought, early on. And then just in transition a couple times, you know, we're floating back instead of sprinting back, and now Amari's picking up somebody else that he's not supposed to be picking up, and now David Green is trailing. And so we were just a little bit lost in transition, and anytime you can give up, you know, open threes like that, you know, it's not going to be an easy first 20 minutes, but I thought that we locked in a little bit better in the second half and just making sure we sprinted back. You know, again, these guys, it's conference play, and these guys are fighting for their lives, man, and so you expect that. You expect the way they came out to play. I thought we struggled a little bit in just guarding the post. I thought they were a little bit stronger and more physical than us, but you know, it's just one of those nights where we did rely a lot on our offense. We don't give up 84 points. That's not who we are. And we've got to watch that and just kind of figure that out, because that you know, with the place we need to go, that's not going to be it. And so we got to tighten that up.
But does it bring you a little bit of comfort that in a game like this, that this team is capable of winning this type of game?
Yeah, it's 2 games in a row now. You know, we saw Baraka kind of change the pace against St. Bonaventure, where his defense turned into offense, which turned into energy for us. And then you saw it again tonight. He had 2 steals that were just game-changing steals. And I saw for a second where he was like standing up, and then he just jumped into the passing lane. And so those are the things that you need to be able to gut out a win like this. And again, I said it before, the kid gets to the free throw line better than anybody in the country. And I think we saw that tonight. And, you know, I'm happy with his growth. And it was, you know, I split the hard hat 5 different ways tonight just because I thought Amari Kelly was really good. You know, he was in foul trouble, but he was good. Keyshawn Hall, whose first half was pretty much non-existent, he comes out and plays 22 minutes, and he was just really efficient in the post. He saw, he read, he found guys. And then Darius Maddox, you know, he shot the lights out tonight. And then, you know, again, Jared Billups, who doesn't fill up, you know, the point bracket, but he goes out there and gets 12 rebounds. Again, these guys are, they're growing. It's conference play. You got to take care of business at home. And, you know, I thought Rhode Island came out and they were desperate. They played well, but, you know, we took care of business.
Was there a watershed moment where you knew that Baraka could take these type of minutes in a conference game?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I just think that, you know, just different situations is going to be, it's got to figure out what makes sense. Sometimes it's going to be Baraka, sometimes it's going to be Ronnie, sometimes it's going to be the both of them. And I just thought with the way that they were guarding us and us needing to just be able to run offense with speed, because I just didn't think defensively they can stay in front of us. We're a ball screen offense. Right. And I just thought tonight, you know, each possession I kind of just said, you know what, I got to put the ball in Baraka's hands or throw it down low to Amari. Down the stretch, that's what I did, and he just made some really, really good reads and just turning that corner. And if you give him any type of gap, he's either getting fouled or he's finishing. And then tonight, he actually found guys, which is part of his growth, so I'm happy for him.
Coach Darius had a couple games where he kind of went cold. Saw beginnings of him coming back, and then tonight shot 61%. What was it like to have him back at his best moving forward?
I've known Darius since 2018, 19. When everybody else worries about Darius Maddox not making a shot, I don't. The kid lives in the gym. The kid is coachable. I've seen him make 33s, and so sometimes you miss him, but you're going to make them. I was never worried. And tonight I just thought that he was, again, it's the difference when your point guard or your playmakers are just, when their antennas are up. It just makes life easier for guys like Darius Maddox, and that's what happened tonight.
And we talked a lot about how Baraka has just been outstanding the last few games. He is still a true freshman, though. What gives you that confidence to continue to give him more and more minutes throughout this season?
I mean, he's playing well. He's playing well. He's, again, he only had 2 assists, but I think they might have got him, man. I thought he had at least 3 or 4 assists. And if he didn't have the assist, it was probably his drive and the one extra that, took away his assist. But his ability to get to the rim, he's a fast twitch point guard. And his IQ is good, really good when we recruited him on the AAU circuit and the high school circuit. I just think it took a little bit of time, and it's taken some time for him to just be able to, combine that fast twitch with his IQ. The game's fast, he's fast, and I think he's learning pace a little bit better. We try to push the ball, and so it's hard to tell a kid that naturally is the fastest guy in the gym to slow down. I know what that feels like. But he's attentive, he's coachable. He's watching more film now. Again, that's part of being a freshman, because you're trying to figure out all these answers, but then you're not really watching film until we tell you to watch film on your own, because we do it collectively. But he's dialed in and just watching himself, and there's not a better way to learn than the situations he's been in the last 2 games. So,
Coach, the decision to bring Keyshawn back in before the end of the half, and unfortunately ended up picking up another foul, but was there ever a doubt that you were bringing back in the first half, or where was that kind of decision at?
yeah, so typically, I don't know if you guys pay attention, for the most part, my assistants, they do a lot of subbing, but then every once in a while, I'm like, nope, I'm doing the subbing. And it was just at that moment where I just wanted to just get Keyshawn back in the game, and he's a guy that, he's playing like an all A-10 guy, and every once in a while, you just got to trust him. And you just needed a little bit more life offensively before that game got out of control, and now you're coming down, you're down 8 at halftime. I didn't want that. And we're obviously a better team when he's on the floor, and so that was just a gut feeling of mine, just kind of rolling the dice. And then we've been really good too with kind of supplementing our foul troubles with Maury and Keyshawn with our 3 defense, and so I trusted that he would pick that foul up.
And then, with him being out and some of the guys being in foul trouble, how big was it for guys coming off bench like Woody, like Baraka, that were able to, Baraka obviously having 18 points and being a big impact, but how big was it for those guys to come off the bench and when you needed them most, when some of your star guys were out, to have them step up?
Yeah, no, that's actually, I probably got to give those guys more credit, because, our heavy minute guys didn't play any defense and they scored. And then our lower minute guys, they came in and kind of got us some stops. And so, Woody's just, he's 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan. And so it's a hard guard if you're the opposing team. And I think we had maybe 3 or 4 possessions in a row where we got some stops. I think they might have passed the ball to Bill Rowland one time on the sideline. But again, these guys, it's conference play, you're shortening that rotation. But for the most part, these guys that aren't playing as much, they're staying in their ready mode. And so, Woody played almost 16 minutes tonight. He hit a 3. He's just got to get his confidence back, because again, this is a guy that, was shooting the hell out of the basketball, and it's kind of simmered down a little bit. But, he had a big one in the first half, and just from a defensive standpoint, he helps us so much with the way we switch our defense.
Well, the way Green started the game with 22 points, is there a correlation to the fact that maybe it was the foul trouble and maybe some of the guys you want to match up with them, or like Keyshawn said, when you're on fire, you're on fire? Was it just, what was that kind of like? Was it because Keyshawn and those guys might not have been able to play him as much in the first half, and what was the difference in the second half to where he only had 7 points?
Well, I think that he was 5 for 5, but 2 of his threes were like late clock threes. I think he hit one with Ronnie pretty much on him, and Ronnie didn't want to foul him. And I believe there was another one where it was like 2 seconds he made that. You're talking about a guy that, he's made that team so much better. I think he's their best player. Again, 5 for 5 is unacceptable, but when you're just getting lost in transition, there's not really an answer for that. It's just about getting on the same page. And, I use the terminology, let's not float back defensively. We have to sprint back, low to the basketball, and just guard the paint. Sometimes we're a little too cool and we're just kind of floating back while the other team is just pushing it up. Next thing you know, we're scrambling. Next thing you know, that they're making 8 threes. And so that's a good teaching lesson for us to just be able to watch that, because teams are going to be aggressive. and we just can't give up transition threes like that. And I just thought, you give him life, and that rim just gets so much bigger, and that's what it was in the first half for David Green. And the freshman Estevez, I think he made a couple. But we, again, we typically are much better than that defensively. But to be able to survive and get a win, I gotta pick my battles.
Coach, you guys had 2 turnovers in the first half, none in the second half. And you're playing a lineup that a lot of guys don't necessarily have played a lot of minutes together, especially in the first half. I had to be pretty pleased with the fact that they weren't throwing the ball over the gym when they're not used to playing with each other.
Yeah, no, we practice. We practice so hard every day. We don't practice long, but we practice really hard. And it's funny, practice. You were at practice the other day. Guys are jawing at each other. Guys are going at each other. And if you didn't know this team, for the most part in practice, you wouldn't know who's the starting group and who's not. I know guys like, Trey Wood and, Austin Ball and Malik Henry don't get a lot of credit, but in practice, those guys are really good. And anytime that you can put, whether it's a combination of one guy or 2 guys, they're ready. And I just thought that just the way we compete in practice, man, you're even if you didn't want to be ready, you're ready because you're going at it every day in practice. It's not as if you're coming to practice and you're not being, being pushed. All these guys are being pushed on a regular basis. I said it earlier this week. I switched the teams up this. We had a long week, and so I just wanted to just stay competitive, and we just kind of switched it up. Starters, not really bench guys or whatever you want to call it. And it was a really good practice until the last hour. But again, my trust level is pretty high with these guys. Again, you're not playing more than in conference play. You're not playing more than 9 guys. Austin Ball, who played well the other night, he didn't get a chance to get in the game. But, again, he's a guy that, he listens, he understands it, because, again, you have to be able to keep your spirit at the right spot so that when you do get caught in the game, you go in there and you hit 2 threes. And so these guys have bought into that, and so it makes my job a little bit easier when the buy-in is there.
Thanks, Tony.